Day 24. Keeping this alive. I'm feeling a little bit better. I had a pretty good day yesterday, just spending time with my wife. We took the kids to the pool, and we bedtime got better. We'll see if it sustains itself, but um, we're trying different things out. We decided to start putting Lorelai to bed an hour earlier to try to keep that moving quickly, and I don't know if it worked, but something that helped last night was I asked her at what happens at school. Do you sleep in your own bed at school? Does your teacher sleep in your bed? Does your friend sleep in your bed? No, that's your bed at school. When you take a nap, and it's your bed at home, you sleep in your bed. And she spent the whole night at home, in her bed. I'm sure I'm jinxing it by telling it today, but yeah, I'm still feeling pretty stuck with our property project, and I just got off the call with Sean, my partner, and he's feeling stuck too. So it's a good thing, right? I'm not alone on this island. He's feeling the same way as me, and I'm pretending like I'm on an island. Like it's just a hard thing, and it's hard to figure out, and we'll keep pushing. I am doing, I think, pretty well with my weight so far, though. I had a lot of opportunities to break over the last 6 days, especially the last two. Like weekends are really, really hard. And, I was able to find a way to keep it going. And so, and like my wife wanted to get donuts this morning. And great, like let's go get donuts. Like, I'm not like gonna turn down donuts. And I could easily go eat 5 donuts, like me pre caring about this, I would go eat 5 donuts. And no, I mean, I figured out how many calories a donut is. I decided I'm gonna eat 1.5 donuts, and I'm not gonna, and that's gonna be my breakfast and most of my lunch. And that's kind of how I'm prioritizing this right now, because it's like 600 calories. It's like a lot of food. You can't just like do that. Um, but I think I'm starting to rub off on my wife. She's starting her own little habit thing now too, and I think it's going to be good. I mean, honestly, we might start doing this for our kids, like having more habit tracking things, because it's just, I feel like it's helping us achieve our goals and being accountable, and not feeling like we're failing at every aspect of our life. I think it's like it's pleasure. It's some dopamine, but it's also like some security. It's a security blanket. Like I can't be doing that bad in life if I keep this up, working on this. So, yeah, I mean, me and my wife we've been doing this new thing where we pour ourselves a beer or whatever, and we walk around outside. We FaceTime our kids, so we're not, I mean, we're never more than like a block or two away, because we just kind of go do the same loop over and over again. But honestly, it's nice. It's like date night, we get to like walk and talk and drink and have fun, and like just, I think we've been missing that, and it's been really good for us to bond more because of it. And I think we're both kind of getting over this huge obstacle, which is like her job totally messing with our lives, and I'm feeling better about it. It's just letting time pass, and that's where these check-ins help me, because they remind me that like me feeling very, very uncomfortable and anxious about the whole thing was less than 24 hours ago. Like it's easy for me to like label that person that was feeling anxious as like somebody like 6 months ago person, but it was just yesterday. Like things things go away way faster than I expect them to. That's important. That's really important. I think I don't appreciate that enough. I don't know that enough. I don't respect that enough. When I'm feeling a certain way, it's gone in less than 24 hours. Some are multi-day ones, and those ones are scary. But even so, like I was pretty sick. I was pretty upset, I'd say, most of this week, but I feel pretty good now. I would say that part is over. I'd say that part of that badness is over at this point. I would say it was probably 4 days, and thank God I do this every day to like help me keep track, because it's. I think the thing with I've been in therapy for like I think like almost 10 years now, and at this point I don't think I really like need it, other than it's just a good check-in moment of like what's going on with me, how do I become a better parent, how to become a better human, how do I like just get stuff out of my head and everything. And the thing I found with therapy is like I would come into therapy with a problem that started yesterday. I have other problems that started 4 days ago or 5 days ago, and by the time therapy rolls around again, I don't care anymore. Like they're gone. Like if I had therapy like those days, I would have talked about that the whole time. But now I'm like, there's this concept that came up for me that made a lot of sense, which is like, as humans, we're optimizers. We like want the best, we want the most, we want all the time, and what we do is we only focus on very like today. We only focus on things that like are wrong. We don't like for every good thing in your life, like you remember 10 bad things. Like your brain it's good because it keeps you alive. It's evolution. It keeps you like moving. That you bite one bad apple and it almost kills you or whatever. You remember that bad apple forever. You remember that one interaction with that one person forever. You still dream about it, and it's to keep you alive. It's to keep you safe. But it's not true. It's not reality. Like if you actually document it every single time you feel good or feel bad, like the wins are like 10 times more than the losses, but you don't remember them. You only remember the losses. And so, I mean, throughout this whole thing, it's like I realize that I will always have 99 problems. I can be safe, secure. I could have a good job. I could have money in the bank. I could have beautiful kids. I could have the best things that a year or 5 years ago or 10 years ago would be dream objects for me. But if you interview me at any moment in my life, I will list off 99 problems. And if you said, okay, here's the solution to one of them, it's gone. You have 98 problems now, Brian. You know what I'm going to do when I wake up tomorrow morning? I'm going to find a 99th problem to worry about. I'm going to find, I have to fill up my cup full of thoughts and worries and needs and wants. And that's just me. That's just humanness. It's like, that's how our brains work. It's like, we need to keep searching in the jungle for new fruit to find. Like we need to keep doing that or else we die. Like the second we stop trying to learn or grow or whatever, like it's actually true. Like we just don't, we stop moving, we start dying. Like our brain is like wired to like keep optimizing our lives, keep looking. And that's hard because in relationships, you keep looking for like things to be wrong or things to be better. And it's like, and then it doesn't work that way. It's like people don't change like as frequently as you want them to, or they don't, or the amount that you want them to. It's not possible. I'm not saying about anybody in particular. I'm just saying in general, it's like, it's really hard to let your brain do its thing and not have negative consequences. I think a lot of what I've learned throughout this whole process is like turning the voice off makes everyone happier, makes your relationships better, makes you happier. It makes like things at work easier. And like being less critical and being less automatic about your judgments or your thoughts or your worries or your needs or your problems is the best way to live. And the hard part is it's like I'm trying to stop an involuntary thing from happening. It's not possible, right? My involuntary reaction is to create a 99th problem. It happens by itself. I don't consciously choose it. I wake up with it in my head. It's just there, or I see something and I want it. It doesn't make any sense and I can't control it. But the only thing I could do is like realize that I will always have 99 problems. And so when I'm feeling overwhelmed, and like I said yesterday, that it's easy to speak from a moment when you feel like you're feeling better. When you're feeling bad, it's really hard to realize the circular nature of this and be wise about it. It's really, really hard to be wise when you're stuck in the situation itself, when you are feeling down or depressed or feeling overwhelmed or feeling like you're not enough of something. It's the hardest thing is to be wise in that moment and say, this is going to pass, right? Because you're feeling overwhelmed by it. And then when it passes, what do? You forget that ever happened. I'm forgetting how crappy my week was because I had a good day yesterday and I'm feeling positive from it. you know? And I don't know. That came up in therapy probably 6 or 7 years ago for me, and it's reminding me of this again. Like I think I'm better at identifying that I'm creating a 99 problems right now. I'm creating too many problems for me to handle, um, and just noticing that that's happening. And like it doesn't mean that those things aren't important or significant, but it does mean that they will always be there. So like be do not think that they are this thing that you need to get over to live. Like you will always have them no matter if you're getting over them or not. If you're like really working on them or not, you're always going to have 99 problems, you know? You're always going to make up more problems to have. So I just think it's I think it's a good reminder. I am creating 99 problems right now. I could easily not be doing this thing with Sean. I could easily not be doing any of these things over here. I could easily be doing nothing. And that's a good life too. Like there's nothing wrong with that, you know? But when I'm upset because these are not going well or other things I'm thinking should be a certain way because I'm making up the expectation, you know? There's no expectation in the universe. It's my expectation of what things should and shouldn't be. Then I have 99 problems. I don't have any real problems. I have a house, I have clothes, I have a car, I have food, I have savings. Like I have beautiful, healthy kids. I have an amazing wife. Like, what are my actual problems? Like, it's like when it comes down to it, what are they? 10 years ago, Brian would say I'm making up problems. Today's problems, 32-year-old Brian's problems feel very real. And they are, you know, but it doesn't mean that I should let them take over my whole life and not enjoy anything, you know? So I think that's kind of the theme for today is like realize that you're going to always have 99 problems, you know, and realize that letting them make you feel not enough is not wise, but it's hard to know that you're doing it while it's happening. That's the hardest part. And so once you feel in a better spot, it's really good to reflect like I'm doing today is like, I was feeling that like not enough all week, you know, for multiple reasons. A lot of different things were happening that were kind of forcing me into that corner of thoughts and behavior. But I fought it, you know, and I really tried to push it away, and it's hard, you know, but I feel like I'm kind of getting over now, and I'm starting to have a plan of how to attack some of these problems that came up over the week, and you know, one at a time, right? It's just let it be. I let it be sometimes, you know. Just keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing. You know, I think I'm doing so good with my weight that I think I'm down like 7 or 8 pounds already, which I know is unhealthy. I know it's not the goal. A lot of it's water weight and a lot of like I think weight that I've gained over the last couple days, anyways. So, but I'll keep watching that. I think it's fun weighing yourself every day and seeing changes and working on it. And I did up my push-ups and pull-up goals to 4 now. I know it's not a lot of push-ups, but it is a lot of pull-ups. It's like kind of getting on me. I think when I get into the 5 and 6 and 7 per day, I think that's gonna start getting hard, and that's good, right? Because I built up the day streak now, where it's like I don't feel like it's like I still got to do it, you know. I'm still gonna do it. And even this, some days I don't know what to talk about, and some days it kind of just flows out of me openly, and that's fine, right? Day's a day. Every day's a day. But I think if anything, 99 problems. That's what's holding us back as humans, right? Is that we won't allow ourselves to have 98. You know, that's who we are, right? That's how we're wired, and that's it. And that's so you can complain and be sad that that's how your brain works, or you can just say that's how my brain works, and maybe I'll give it a little bit less volume sometimes because of that. You know, maybe I'll let it just talk to itself sometimes, you know, and not engage with it. Maybe I'll tell it to shut up sometimes because it's trying too hard to optimize my life and keep me safe. You know, maybe it's trying too hard sometimes, and I know better. My active thoughts versus my involuntary passive thoughts. You know, so I think it's a good reflection moment to say, like, do I feel like I have 99 problems right now? And will I ever have less? right? Because it's so easy to just totally forget that I'm creating these problems. Like this was my discussion with my wife last night. A lot of it was centered around like, sometimes when you don't do something, that's also a decision. Like when you don't help somebody, when you don't try that thing, when you decide to stay home instead of go out, like people like to say that like I made a choice and I did the thing, you know? But also like not helping somebody or not engaging in a situation or not trying is a decision. And that took me like years to figure out too. It's like when somebody asks for my help and I say yes and then I complain about it, I made that decision. You know, they asked for my help, but I could have said no. I could have said yes. I could have said a lot of things. And now that I'm in the middle of it, I feel like it was a dumb decision and I'm wrong and this was bad and I shouldn't have done this. But there's a lot of involuntary things we like do or get asked to do. And, you know, like this, all of these things, I'm choosing to do these things, you know, and it's very apparent, you know. But if I was sitting, gaining weight, you know, eating 6 donuts today, I could say, wife, you brought 6 donuts in this house. Like, this is your fault. Or I could say, I chose to eat those 6 donuts myself, you know? I mean, that's me. If I can't control myself around donuts, like, we got to start smaller than that. Like, what is there, you know? I got to, like, reflect about that and maybe you know, whatever, find a bigger strategy for that. But doing and not doing are both decisions in every part of your life, especially with food. Every part of your life, you know. And don't feel like less than if you don't have it all down, you know. I think this is the way to do it though, you know. Just start one day at a time. Think, talk through it, let it out, and you just feel better and you know more about you're accountable. You know what you're doing and not doing well and how to do it. I think I'll continue to add new goals and maybe I'll stop doing these goals. I don't know, you know, but I know I'm doing today's goals correctly and I'm not just letting myself let a day pass without, you know, being motivated about something, you know. So I'll leave it there. Just watch your 99 problems. And I think most this week I felt like I had 105 problems, you know. And now that I'm feeling like I have 98, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go find a 99th. I'm going to leave this right now. I'm going to go find a 99th problem, a new thing I need or buy or have or learn or try. Why do we do that? You know? Why can't we just stop? Why can't we just enjoy it? But we would just my analogy is I don't think we would ever learn how to walk if we didn't have that type of mindset. We would never leave our mother's wombs if we didn't want more and try to do more and be more. And that's like life. Like we wouldn't go anywhere, do anything, try anything if we didn't want to be more every day. That's a good thing, right? Like we just wouldn't exist. Everything you have wouldn't exist if we didn't feel bad about ourselves all the time, you know? And so you can say like I wish this part of life didn't exist, you know, or you can say like it has to exist for me to get out of bed in the morning, you know? It has to exist for me to have food to eat. It has to exist for me to live. I have to be miserable a lot to live because my brain doesn't allow me to like sit around and do nothing all day. It feels bad about that. It feels guilty about that. And that's what makes us have the internet, have technology. It makes us have things. It's because our brains are all doing that all day. And then when enough of it happens, enough of pain, enough of longing, that's all we do all day is long for everything. When enough of that coincides, things start getting made and built and tried and done, you know? And so I think it's easy to be, I spent like months or years being sad that that is how the world is, you know, that we all are just miserable all day, being like longing for things and wanting more things and looking for more problems, you know, and not being just happy with what we have. Um, but also it's like, it is what it is. Like you can't say that and like use a phone. You can't say that and watch TV. Like you can't say that and do anything that required people to be obsessed with it and feel bad about it and try so hard at it. You know, like everything that's ever been built had teams of people that thought it sucked for many months or years, thought they sucked as people for building it, because it was the wrong thing or didn't work perfectly, or we all feel like we suck at everything all the time. And that's what makes us so powerful, is like we all are secretly underdogs, and we need to and we feel crappy about it, but that's the only way that motivates us to keep pushing, you know? So once I kind of reframed it that way, where it's like, we wouldn't leave our mother's wombs if we did not have that drive within us, that our brains work that way, and we needed them to work that way to leave our mother's wombs, or to learn how to crawl or walk. It's the most basic thing. Like, my son is literally learning how to crawl and trying to pick himself up to stand up right now. There's no person on earth teaching him to do that, or coaching him to try harder, or to give him the determination to do that. It's just built inside of his brain to do that, to try to be like his parents, to try to be like everyone else that walks, and is it wrong? I mean, he needs to walk, right? That's the whole point. He wants to, he needs to, that's the next step of him becoming more of a human. And to say that when he feels bad for himself because he can't walk yet, that is wrong. I feel like it's like slicing it so thin that you're taking one and not the other, it can't have both. It's like, you can't say I should feel good all the time and not have any problems and walk, because you need both. You need to have the longing, and you need the objective, and you need the hardness to do anything, to get anything done, to learn how to walk. There isn't a living thing that doesn't long for something better all day, and that's whatever life is, that's been created in us, and that's what keeps us searching and trying and doing, is the pain of longing, and I got real depressed when I figured out that 90% of my life is longing for things I don't have, or people I don't have, or whatever I don't have, experiences I never had. But it helped me realize that I literally wouldn't get out of bed every day if I didn't have that longing. So it's like, I can't say one is good and bad, having longing seems really negative, but I need it to exist. I need it to have good times. I need it to have things I want. If I don't have anything I want, I would be equally depressed. There isn't a solution that isn't balanced. Every single time I've run into a conundrum, it's always it's just a balance of everything. It's the boring answer. Every single time, the answer is whatever you have going on in your life. The answer is it's probably a balance of the good and the bad, the yes and the no, the thing you want, thing you don't want. It's just, the hard part is letting it to be that way, because you just want to stop longing. You want it to be exactly the way you wanted it, and even if you got it, you wouldn't want it like that anymore. There's so many things in my life, there isn't a way a person could compliment me in the way that I want it, in which I wouldn't invalidate it. I invalidate every single compliment I've ever gotten deep down. And I couldn't write a movie with a script, with a thing. I couldn't create a situation in which I wouldn't invalidate the compliment, I just find a way to do it no matter what. Even if I just wrote down exactly what I want my wife to say to me every single day, the second she starts saying it, I wouldn't want it anymore. Our brains are just really dumb that way. We can't just let us be and be happy and enjoy it. But I wouldn't get out of bed every morning if I didn't do that. My brain didn't do that for me. My brain is just on search and seek and find mode all day. So how do I search for the next thing that I need and want? And it's a survival mechanism, It's how we keep moving. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up. But that was good. That was a good reflection, and I think I need to remember that more often about the 99th problem. Just always coming up when I feel overwhelmed. It's because of that. Because I made up so many I made up too many problems that I didn't realize how hard they were. So, all right. Well, see you tomorrow.